All right. Hopefully I'm live. I got a new computer and I had to do a couple tech things here, and so hopefully we're working. Let me know in the chat if you hear me and see me, and we'll get this thing rolling soon. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Let me know if you can hear me and see me. I got a new computer. I had to do a couple technical things. So, all right. All righty. Anthony, what's up? Good to see you. All good? All right, cool. Thanks, guys. Good stuff. We are Monday, May 1st, 2023. What's up, Burke, Anthony, Facebook users, Victor, Greg, Aaron? Nice to see all you guys here. Brett is here. I'm just saying hi to whoever pops up in there that I can see. So, good stuff. Still got a couple minutes before we kick this off formally. Hopefully everything's going okay in your life and business right now. What's up, Mark? Good to see you, bud. All right. I'm just checking shit off today. This is a good day. That's done. That's done. That's done. That's done. That's done. All right. Boom. See, you got my little thing. That's my day right there. All right. So, guys, I'm going to open this up. We're going to go a little over 30 minutes because I got another call on the heels of this one that I got to do. And so go ahead and start typing your questions in. If you got them, I'm here for you guys to help you win more. That's the whole point of these things. And at the top of the hour, I'll start answering questions. Bam. Let's see, got that. Close this out. Thanks, Roy, and whoever the Facebook user is says the Panama City event was amazing. Thank you. Roberto's here. Right. Good to be here. We do these monthly, and been a crazy month since we were here last time. We got a bunch of stuff going on. Guys, be on the lookout. Our Battleground program is going to open up again soon. And if you're not on the wait list to get notified, go to the contractorfight.com/battleground and get on the wait list. In fact, because I'm a nice guy, I'm just going to put the link in here for you there. Boom. What's up, Ryan? Good to see you. If you didn't grant permission to StreamYard, it won't show your name, bud. All right. Okie dokie. Jason's here. All right. So we're the top of the hour. I'm going to dig in right away because, like I said, I have about little over 30 minutes. And I want to help you win. And I got a call after this I got to do. So somebody's in Dallas. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Guys, if you want me to see your name and you're on Facebook, you got to do the thing that Roz said in her comment. If you scroll up, you got to grant StreamYard permission to show your name at StreamYard.com/Facebook. So anyway, all right. So let me dig into Brett's question. That's the first one I see here. What do you do about job minimum? We are a painting company and it's hard to take jobs less than $1,200. Great question. So here's how we handled it. And I stole this from my buddy David Chisholm, who owns Chisholm Brothers Painting out in San Diego. I've known him for 15, 17, 18 years, something like that. Good buddy of mine. David created a thing called Painter for a Day. And Brett, I actually sold many 10, 20, and $30,000 jobs. And if you look at the splinter off of referrals, repeat business, probably millions of dollars of work, all because I was willing to go out and do small jobs. Our company was willing to do that. So we just charged a premium for that. We charged, we sold 8-hour blocks of time. We'd send one of our most talented painters out to the home. We would tell the people, you're paying for us for the day. You're here for the day. It was $560. This was back in 2008, 9, 10, 11, somewhere in there. And they just needed to supply the paint. And we loved them because most of them turned into additional work in the house. We had a whole process where we'd fill things out. They'd have to fill something out in priority of what they wanted done. And we would call them back, have a conversation about whether it was realistic, right? And sometimes they'd text us pictures, and we'd go, yeah, we could get that done. And it was things like, hey, paint the walls in a powder room and touch up the trim in the hallway and the foyer, and this drywall needs repaired. And that's why you got to have somebody out there. So we never sent more than one person. We just sent one person out. And probably half of those Painter for a Days turned into, we taught our guys how to upsell, and it would turn into multiple days of work. Often a Painter for a Day would turn into a crew going out there, the next week for, a couple days, and it'd be a $5,000 project. I had a lot of customers tell me that they like to hire somebody for a small job to get a taste of what they were like. And if they were any good and if they liked them, they had them do the whole house. So figure out those minimums for you based on your break even and your man hours and your overhead and your gross profit and all that stuff. Reverse engineer the math, set your pricing. One thing we ended up doing, we tried to dedicate, we weren't always perfect with this. We tried to dedicate a day a week where we'd have one or two guys available to do those Painter for a Day things. So it'd be like a Friday, or pick the day, but it's usually a Friday. And if we didn't have any small Painter for a Day types of things, then they'd just work with the normal crew that day, and we'd bang things out. But I'm personally a fan of small jobs as long as it's on my terms in a trade like painting and things like that. You just have to have your day rate set in, because the problem is if you go out, if you bid the walls in a powder room for $300 and he's done in 2-3 hours, where's he go the rest of the day? Right. And that's where it becomes difficult. So you got to sell the whole day. That was our fix. Hopefully that helps. Roberto wants to know, what's the best way to get rid of fear? Do things that scare you. Seriously, like that's how your confidence grows. If you're afraid to do prospecting, then do prospecting. If you're afraid to talk money with a customer on the phone and raise your prices, do the shit that scares you. When you do the hard things, you prove to yourself that you didn't die and all's okay. And so I don't know what you're necessarily afraid of, but whatever it is, I would do that thing. Okay. That to me is just the fastest, easiest way. Karina's here. What's up? Christopher's here. And Jim, when your price is above industry standard and the customer says they want to think about it, how do you close the deal right then and there? Depends on how your sales process is mapped out, Jim. The way we teach it is we address that before we send them a price. We talk budget so that you're not typing shit up, and they want to think about it. They can think about it all fucking day if they want. I'm not a close the deal right here and now guy. I'll just set a next step of, when they're going to think about it, and we're going to have a conversation. We do a lot of training in this inside our Shinfu training videos and inside of Battleground as well, Jim. So I'm not trying to blow this off, but it's like, if you're going out meeting with people, then sending a bid or giving a bid or a price, and they go, we want to think about it, then you have a shitty sales process. I'm not saying you'll never get that objection, but when you really understand what's important to people, people buy for their reasons, not yours. And you learn to have conversations and ask questions around the things that draw them out and help connect with you. Very few people are going to have to think about it. I would say start on the telephone for a 15, 20-minute conversation about the project, what it might cost, and then go from there. But that's a huge, long answer that we answered a few weeks ago. We did a bunch of, for the people that grabbed our Shinfu sales training videos, we did 5 days of bonus training for them, and we role played all these different scenarios and shit like that. But, you know, a lot of it is also having conversations throughout the sales process of things that, you know, people typically want to think about. So you address those things in your sales process or in your pitch, if you want to call it that, because there is a time to sell, and you can address those things before they hit you later with, I want to think about it, or I need to talk to my spouse, or, you know, I got to run this by my financial planner to see if it's okay to spend $750 on something in my home or whatever it might be. Sorry, I'm scrolling. You're welcome. Jeremy, what's up? What are your thoughts on finding good employees? We're growing and expanding rapidly. I can't seem to find people that want to work. I know this is a struggle for all. Yeah, this is a long game thing here, man. So I'll start answering this, Jeremy, with it depends. It depends on what your profit is right now. Like a lot of people, I'm not saying this is the case for you, Jeremy, but a lot of people think they need employees when they just need to raise their prices and have more of a gross profit. And when you have more of a gross profit, you need less jobs, and you need less leads, and you need less people to produce the work. So it's not uncommon for people that work with us to, you know, double their profits with the same team they have right now. Okay. But the short answer is, or the quick, you know, without doing a whole freaking seminar on this today, for me, it comes down to two things. Number one, you need to build your brand aggressively. You need to market the shit out of your business and position yourself as the expert. That's why I talk about content all the time. And number two, you need to be fanatical about recruiting. Like, you cannot hire when you need people. That is the worst time to hire. You want to recruit just like you market for new customers or market for work 365 days a year. So if you go into our free Facebook page, I think I might have put it in there at one point. I don't know, but I got like 26 guerrilla tactic ideas that people can use to hire. But if you're not building your brand, you're screwed. And I think, but the root of the problem is people are not serious about hiring. You're serious about it right now because you're feeling the pain because you need guys. But you should have been serious about it a year ago, and 6 months ago, and 3 months ago, and 2 weeks ago with you should be running ads all year round for people, because you should always also be upgrading your team. And so it's a long play, but for you to just run an ad today and get somebody, it's probably not going to happen, because the good people are working and the shitheads are sitting home. And so, and a good recruiting plan will also, that's why I talk build your brand. When you build your brand, show your culture, become the type of company that people would want to work for. Okay. That's how you poach people, because they start seeing you all over online and they see, man, that's the type of company I'd love to work for. And my boss has been a shithead and he keeps promising this, and there's a bunch of chaos in our business and this and that. Excuse me. It just makes it harder, or makes it easier to recruit them and poach them. And there's plenty of people that want to work out there too. Change the story you're telling yourself, brother. Tony, are job deals a good way to start off a business? What I think you're asking, because it's not a very clear question, is offering discounts a good way to start a business? No, I think it's a terrible way to start a business, because 99% of contractors undercharge. Do what we teach in the fight and charge what you're worth from day one, offer massive value, and build your business right. Because every cheap customer that buys on a discount that you bring into your life and do work for, they have friends that are cheap just like them and they want a discount, and you build this whole customer list of people that don't value you. Hopefully that makes sense. I tracked discounting for a whole year. This is a long time ago. We did in our lead tracking thing, anyone that I gave a discount to in the sales process, we would track and our close rate on jobs that we discounted was actually lower than the jobs we charged full price. So we sold less of the discount. Discounting didn't make us sell more. And of the jobs that we discounted, those were the jobs mostly that we had problems on, where the customer is a pain in the ass or whatever. Janelle, most effective form of marketing for your contractors. Whatever is going to connect and resonate with who your ideal client is. You should do no marketing until you know who you want as a customer, who you want as a client. And that's strategy. So you need a strategy before you start all the tactics. Tactics are Facebook ads and Google ads and door hangers and, social media posts and direct mailers and this and that. Strategy comes before tactics. So I wouldn't, what's the most effective form? It depends where your customers are and what the message is that connects with them, that gets them to give a shit who you are. And I'm sure you're looking for a much more, tell me what to do for marketing answer, but I can't because I don't know who your ideal client is. I don't know what your USP is, your unique selling proposition. I don't know what your brand promise is. And if your clients give a shit what your brand promise is. There's so many facets to this. I would say list out 5 or 10 clients that you would like to clone over and over and over and look for similarities. What was important to them? What were the job types? What messages resonated with them? And then you can start creating your marketing strategy from that based on that information that you have. And then that's why you review your leads every month, you guys. That's why you track this stuff. Like you shouldn't just go, yeah, we had 20 leads this week. It should be out of the 20 leads, 3 were from Google search. How did they do? What types of jobs were they? 7 were past customers, 3 were referrals, 2 were truck signs. And when you track those things, Janelle, then you can see what the most effective forms of marketing are. Jim, for bathroom remodels, I meant to say when we use above industry standard materials, so we charge more. I still don't know how this answers the question or what the question was. When your price is above industry standard, and they want to think of, again, it's a sales process thing, man. It's the same thing. When you learn how to bracket and sell based on what they tell you is important to them, you can paint pictures for them. Hey, I got this option to deal with and this option. This option would be between here and here, and this would be between and here. Which of those conversations do you want to have? Right? And they're going to opt themselves into how much money they want to spend. So this is a sales process issue, 100%, man. Tony, what type of homeowners should I try to get work from? Kind of the same thing I just answered to Janelle a second ago, bud. Okay. Who are your best clients? Who do you want to clone? Okay. For me, those are people that certainly want or need what I do. They see value in what I do. They find the money and they're a joy to work with. Those are my 4 criteria for an ideal client. So you need to identify your ideal client, and then you'll know who to target. Shay T. I run a traffic control company. How do I market that, and how do I build on leads? Most of our work is word of mouth, but that won't work for me. Do you guys see a theme here? I should have just recorded the last couple answers. I can just play them back. So again, where are the people that hire you? Where are their eyeballs? Be there, right? So if you mean traffic control company, like wide load on the highway, the guide cards or whatever, we have a friend who runs like a $4 million business that does that here in town. I think that's what you're talking about. Not air traffic control, right? I don't know what you mean specifically, but whoever's hiring you, where are they? Where are their eyeballs? You be there. So let's just say they're on LinkedIn. I'd be creating LinkedIn videos out the ass from job sites or Facebook or wherever they're at. And I'd be going, hey, here's an interesting situation that we've run into here. And I'm educating over and over. And there's other things you could do depending on who you hire and where they're at and what they care about. You could go to events that they're at and sponsor things and mean, there's a million different things here, guys. All you guys are asking these marketing questions, you're pretty much going to get the same answer from me. I'm sorry. But I'm saying this is a blanket statement. So the people that have asked marketing questions, please don't take this as an attack. This is called vanguarding, basically. I'm basically saying I'm going to say something that might be offensive to one of you or all of you, but I don't mean it that way. But when people ask me questions like this, it shows me they've done no work whatsoever to educate and level up their marketing skills. Meaning, what books are you reading on marketing and building brand? Okay. Are you learning how to be a good copywriter? Are you learning how to do video better? Like I can usually tell when somebody hasn't given 2 seconds of their existence to learning how to be a marketer. They just come on here. They think it's like, hey, give me a number of a pizza place within 5 miles of my house. There you go. Boom. See, they all pop up. You guys expect to come on something like this and get instant answers like that. Just doesn't fucking work that way, you guys, because each one of you is unique. Each one of you has a different message and a different quality about you and your company and your culture that is going to attract or repel people. I would say the biggest thing is you have to be different, but you have to go to where your customers are, but you have to be different when you're there, different than all the other people like you. Guys, marketing is a fucking, it is an art and a science, and it is a bunch of testing. Okay. Now, if you hopped on here and said, like Tony, what type of homeowners should I get? Right. If you be like, hey, in the past, I've been targeting, homeowners that own a business, that make above $500,000 a year. They live in a certain community. The reason I went for homeowners that own a business is because I know they're busy. They don't have a lot of time to shop around for quotes, and they just want shit taken care of. And that's who we typically resonate with. Then I could give you more to work with. Does this make sense? Give me something in the chat box. All right. Lester, what's up? Good times to bring up financing options during phone call. I don't know. Again, I'll tell you right now, I don't want people that want to use financing in most cases. It's on them to find their own fucking financing, you guys. In our battleground group, guys, I'm telling you, we got guys doing millions of dollars a year that never do financing with their customers. I'm not saying you shouldn't offer it, but again, this is a sales process issue, Lester. So I'll give you an example. Say I'm in a sales call and I say to you, Lester, hey, it's going to be $250,000 for the project. What would you like to do next? And you go, yeah, that's a lot of money. I'm not sure we could swing that. Okay. I might say something along the lines of, that's interesting. When you say it's a lot of money, is it just 250 grand is too much for the project, or you're just not sure how you're going to pull off, paying for it? Or would it make sense to talk about our financing options? So I used to sell windows back in the day. And when somebody would say, and I'm not saying do this, Lester, but they taught us, and it was a slime bucket company. They ripped people off, and I quit after 4 months. Okay. But we were coached to say, hey, it's $10,500 or $227 a month. Okay. That was their business model, because they went after payment buyers, and we had relationships with banks and all that. So totally different buyer than most of you guys probably want to sell to. So when the customers say, oh, that's too much money, I would say, well, what's too much money? The 10.5 or the monthly payment? Well, the monthly payment. Okay. Well, what would happen if we extended it out another couple of years and we brought in under $200? Would that help? And then oftentimes they'd buy. So, you bring up financing options when they've given you a yes, and you say, okay, we're going to require a 50% deposit on the project and blah, blah. And they go, well, I don't have that. Do you offer financing? And if you do, great. Or credit cards or whatever. What's up, Sakin? Good to see you, man. What's up, Christopher? Burke, I'm a small remodeler. I've noticed on big custom jobs, our production time is crap. Do I keep chugging, trying to find good employees and up production, or transition to smaller, quicker turnaround jobs? Again, your team, but if what you should be doing on any job is given a clear scope of work, sitting down with your crew leader mapping out the plan of attack, where we need to be at the end of each day to stay on track for the project. Whether it's a big job or a small job, that should be happening. So it also might be that your production times are wrong. Okay. Meaning, like, production rates in anything, if we're consistently getting our asses kicked on a certain type of work, I'm going to have to reevaluate how I bid that work. If I say it's like 10 hours to do something and we're consistently 15 hours, that's a problem. I'm just going to change how I'm bidding, and I'm going to put that in there. Now, I will say on big jobs, a lot of guys get lulled to sleep on big jobs. You sell a big job, $300,000-400 grand or whatever it is to you, and you go, wow, we got 3 months of work ahead of us, and you take your foot off the pedal and you don't manage the job every day. That might also be a reason that those jobs are coming in over budget. So this starts with job costing, starts with sitting down with your team and, having a conversation around the expectations. And, hey guys, I noticed on big jobs in this situation, we lose hours. Let's talk about that. What are you guys dealing with in the field? Like, let's have a conversation before you throw your guys under the bus. I'm not saying you're throwing your guys under the bus. I'm just saying, let's work with them to understand what's going on, because what happens, guys, is a scope creep, right? And, sometimes the customer's adding work or distracting your guys or whatever it might be. You haven't set clear expectations with the crew. I could go on all day on that. Resistance on consultation fee, which is what we do now versus everyone does free estimates, or the I've never seen anyone charge for an estimate. We don't push the consultation. We highlight the value and differences, but get some negative. Yeah, you're going to get a few. Partially that's because you're probably not very good at it yet. Just calling it like I see it. I don't recommend that when you suck at the Shin Fu, if you're not nailing the motive, if you're not truly connecting, talking budget, if you're doing all those things right, nobody will care about the consultation fee. Okay. And some of you shouldn't even charge a consultation fee, to be honest with you. I'll tell you right now, like, back in my heyday, we were doing 80 to 100 estimates a month. I would Shin Fu, I would have budget conversations, and then I would go out and close the deal on most of those. I wouldn't charge a consult fee, depending on the trade and things like that. And that's a whole can of worms I probably just opened up, but don't put any pressure on yourself to charge it, but get better at the other steps. And then when your spidey sense is tingling, you think somebody's pulling your chain, and then charge one, but also track it. A lot of guys are like, I'm going to go with my gut. And then they go out there and they get ghosted and they don't sell it. And then they look, they're like, okay, the 40 jobs or 40 estimates this quarter that I didn't charge it, I only won 3 of those jobs. Okay. So maybe I should start implementing the consult fee to weed out the tire kickers. The whole consult thing, guys, is the least important step of the sales process. Because if you do the other things correctly and you connect with people, it's truly a non-issue, because the job's either sold or they've opted themselves out to not work with you. And do not ever lead with a consult fee. Like when people call, you call a business. Sometimes I've done that. I call a business and they're like, hey, it's Bob's Construction or whatever it is. And yeah, I want to get a bid on this. Okay. So we have a consult fee of blah, blah. You've done nothing to give me any foreplay. You've done nothing to connect with me. You've come out of the gate. Okay. And that's where people go, well, nobody else charges to come out. And then it's also, like Christopher, if you called me, you say, yeah, I want to get an estimate on my project. I'd be like, okay, what phase of the buying process are you in right now? What do you mean? Well, in the decision-making process, like, are you just gathering information? You're looking for some rough numbers, or are you ready to pull the trigger and need an exact number on this thing? Because we can have a conversation right now and I could get within a couple grand one way or the other and see if it makes sense for me to come out and tell you the same thing in your yard. Okay. So, excuse me, Jose, proud of a win today. First time I didn't run out and tap dance. This guy was pushing me hard, wanting me to come out, stuck with the process. He didn't want to pay the site consultation. So I didn't see that because it ties into that one. But, again, guys, it's a, let me pull back. If your closing rate was really high and you were selling at the right prices, like 50% and better and shit like that, before you ever heard of this consultation fee shit, that don't throw the baby out with the bathwater here, guys. Don't get rid of what worked for you. Okay. Take some of the things that we teach and just make your game better. If it still makes sense for you to go out in person and meet with somebody, you have time to do that. It doesn't overwhelm you. You know, you have a team to do work and you can go out like I had a whole company behind me. So I could go out and I could see almost everybody I wanted to see. That's where I would implement, you know, the things we teach about the motive and the budget and all those other things. Okay. So that I didn't have to go home that night and type a bunch of shit up, and it's still a win for me. Hopefully that makes sense. Antonio, I just started my own painting business. I'm in a unique situation where I have 3 solid groups that have been painting for over 20 years. My preferred niche is custom homes. How can I build? I don't know what your goals are. What do you want to build? I mean, it's, guys, a lot of the questions you guys are asking, you haven't gotten clarity around what you got to get more specific. What does it mean to build? What do you want to build? Your headaches, your profit, number of jobs. And if you say, I want to build my revenue, I go, why? Why do you want to build your revenue? So I can make more money. Okay, well, how much money are you making now? Do you need to build, or you just need to firm up and optimize what you already have? You guys see how this works? You have to have clarity. Like, I want to add $500,000 of interior repaint work to spread between my 3 crews in 2023. And I want a 50% gross profit on that $500,000 of new work. Okay. So that's what I mean by being specific. And then his next comment says relationships with GCs and homeowners that fit this need. Again, you're going after GCs, you're going after homeowners, 2 totally different lanes. It's very hard, you know, to walk in both of them. I'm not saying it can't be done, but don't bounce your crews back and forth because they never get in a groove. And GCs and residential repaint homeowner jobs are 2 very different client personas. If you don't know what that means, Google it. Okay. So you got to really identify what you want, brother. Jeremy's GP's at 70. Awesome, man. Bunker, what's up? Trev, what's up? You're welcome. Brandon, is there a benefit to additional certifications membership outside of required licensing for my customer aspect? NARI, HBA, all that shit. If so, should these be added to a marketing plan? If a certification is going to help you and your team deliver better quality work in a safer way and those things, I don't think it's ever something that hurts. As a marketing plan, I don't think customers give a fuck about this shit. And here's why. All right. The Paint Contractor Association, PCA, they used to be the PDCA, Painting and Decorating Contractors Association, 20 years ago or so, maybe 18 years, 15 years, I don't know. And I don't even know if they still do this. I see Milner's on here. Maybe you know if they still do this. I don't know. But they came out with this whole campaign for a few years about accreditation. And they, at one point, guys, I forget what city it was, but they got a billboard. This is what I was told. They got a billboard saying, hire an accredited painter, go to pdca.org or whatever their website was and find one in the area. Guys, it didn't move the needle. And I did 300 to 400 jobs a year, which means I was doing probably, I don't know what, 600 to 800 bids a year. Not one time had anyone ever asked me about a certification or the accreditation through that organization. Now, I'm not ripping on the accreditation of the PCA's thing. What I'm saying is, I don't think it really ever moves the needle in selling jobs. Like, it might 1 out of 100, okay? Because you might get some engineer guy who's really into continuing ed, and you share that with him as part of your thing, and it resonates with him, right? But To me, those are just, if you're going to join those organizations, like if you're going to join NARI and HBA and stuff, I'd be doing it, Brandon, to network with other influencer contractors that you guys could refer work to and shit. That's where I would see it would help in marketing. And should I also paint regular residential homes to get money or be picky on only those high-end clients? Again, back to everything I said before. I'm behind on some of these comments because you guys are commenting as I'm talking, so I'm not seeing this in real time. Sorry. Integrity. How do we know if we should close down the company? We have a lot of debt. I think that's what that word is supposed to say. And bad cash flow. We're selling more, but jobs won't start until in a while. Again, I don't have enough context or information to give you an opinion. I would say if your position today is one thing, but if you're trending down, you might want to consider. But I've also known people that have paid off $1 million of debt in 3 years and turned things around because they finally decided to get serious about it. So I don't have enough information to like give you an answer. I would do you a disservice if I did that. So I apologize. I don't mean to blow it off, but too many unknowns. I don't know anything about you, your team, your processes, your system, your what you're selling jobs at, your profit, your production, how much debt, what your overhead is, blah, blah, blah. You're welcome. You're welcome. Anthony. Guys, I got about 3 minutes left. So if I don't get to all your questions, I'm sorry. I have a call at the quarter of here that I got to get on. Catching my first live and listening to your just started my business April 5th. Congrats. 100% close rate with highest prices and 65% gross. My issue is I'm not getting enough leads to keep busy. I've been spending 3+ hours working on the business, another 4 in the business, and still working full-time job for someone else, grinding away, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, you're not supposed to have a lot of leads yet because you just started not even a month ago. So congrats on what you're doing now. You're in a great position to treat this business right now as a side hustle that you don't need because you have a day job, it sounds like. So, continue to learn and educate yourself. Keep doing what you're doing on the sales and production side because you're making money, and just understand it's going to take a while to build a brand. There's not an easy button. Okay. But I wouldn't, not enough leads to keep busy enough. Right. So, just making sure I read it right. Still working a full-time job for somebody else. Yeah. So right now you're in a perfect position. You don't have to have enough leads to be full-time right now. So I would just build it right, charge right, get your processes in place, keep building your brand, all the free shit, social media, get your website built, shit like that, create a marketing plan, create, 1 and 3 and 5 year metrics and goals and track those and play the long game with this, man. You're welcome. Thanks for all you do in your channels. I'm starting my own as a pond conjurer. I'm going to charge the same as the competition, even though my numbers can be lower. Charge what you need to charge, Kenny. Don't worry about the competition. Okay. Now don't leave money on the table. All right. But, reverse engineer your budget and what you're based on what your goals are and sell at those rates. Tim says it, the PCA still has it. It was retarded. I agree. Blah, blah, blah. All right. What's a standard warranty for the painting industry? We did a 1-year warranty and it was labor, and we had whatever the materials we used, they had their material warranty, and we had great relationships with our vendors. So we knew that anything that was on workmanship was going to fail within 1 year in most cases. And if they called us back in 2 years and said, hey, this is fucked up or whatever, we'd go fix it. But because those warranty calls and repairs guys to me are marketing, it's a marketing expense. But yeah, Tim just said it's 1 to 2 years. Ours was 1. And again, in painting, I never really had anyone give a shit how long our warranty was. Can't. Bad spelling from Alan. I don't know what you mean there. Brett, I agree. We don't use any. I don't know what we were talking about there. It can all be bought, and clients know that. Yeah, we do 5 mil in painting and no associations. Yeah. So, all right. Got time for one more question. Then I got to go. Uno más cuestiones. What do we got? Yeah, guys, when you have a good relationship with your vendor and you go to them and you're buying hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of materials and shit from them, you know, you go, hey, we got this issue, the product failed, and they'd reimburse our labor on it. Like, it was never a big deal. So you're welcome, Hugo. All right. Tiana, how do I handle clients who want to DIY trim doors and expect us to cater to their timeliness for job completion? I want to take overall lump sum, blah, 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 without stock. Yeah, I would just say we have a policy that if we're not doing the whole job, then, you know, we're not doing the job. I mean, I've never done a job in the history of my life, guys, where the customer did a portion of it and we did the rest and it went well. So that's just my take on that. So anyway, guys, I got to go. I got this call. I got to get on here quick. I got to prep it for a couple minutes before it. And so I can be on my A game for that. I appreciate you guys. If you're not on the Battleground wait list, it's opening up again soon. So I'll just put the link in there again. Hop in. Mile High Profit Summit is coming soon as well. Within the next month or so, we're going to have all the details for that. That's happened in the last week of September in Denver and Westminster. And with that, you guys, I appreciate you. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time.